Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Ebel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and join me today for this video where I want to give a little update on the wellness journey over here and some thoughts about what is wellness. So if you've seen my videos, you know I have been on this health and wellness journey literally my entire life, spending decades dieting, obsessed with my physical appearance, and really neglecting a lot of my mental health. My diet and exercise habits started when I was like 6 years old. Does anybody from the 80s and 90s remember Mousercise? That was Minnie Mouse Jazzercise. It was exercise for little kids. Anyway, I was always chubby as a kid. I was always teased for it. And I always felt like everything wrong with my life was because I was overweight. Struggles with friends or relationships, just you name it, it was because I was fat. Like, that's what I told myself. I was introduced to yoga in high school and I absolutely loved it. Like, the first physical activity I enjoyed doing, felt like I was good at doing. But then I got distracted with drinking through all of my 20s. Finally, at 31, I started yoga teacher training, and that is when fitness and health and wellness kind of shifted in my brain, and it stopped being just about what I looked like physically and calories in, calories out type of thing, and I started thinking more about wellness. I started questioning what was going on in my mental health, why life was still such a struggle for me in my 30s. Eventually, yoga helped lead me to a mental health path. But first, you gotta be careful with the yoga fitness world. So just to clarify my opinion, yoga is an ancient spiritual practice. We have brought it over to America and made it the newest fitness craze. And that is problematic on a few levels. When I was first introduced to yoga, it was as an exercise routine. It was literally a DVD called Fat Blasting Yoga. And when I became a yoga teacher, it was very fitness focused. It was very focused on the poses and how to do them correctly, and correct alignment, how to build sequences and flows and things like that. And it was only through getting deeper and more trainings and studying yoga philosophy, reading the ancient yoga texts, and realizing that thousands of years ago, they weren't talking about downward dog or any poses. It was all about meditation, finding enlightenment. It was about escaping the cycle of reincarnation so that you didn't have to live another human existence. Thinking about things like acceptance of the present moment, the impermanence of everything around us, how change is always inevitable. Like, I love yoga philosophy. I love being able to weave yoga philosophy into classes that have poses. But as I have grown as a yoga teacher and just as a person, I am really stepping away from the physical fitness yoga. It's just, I still love to move my body in that fun, flowy, vinyasa way, but what I love to teach, what I really think we all need in terms of yoga practice, is the rest, relaxation, and meditation. When I did my first yoga teacher training and learned about all the different types of yoga, it was restorative yoga. I'm like, that's my jam. That is so my vibe. And after I graduated that first training, next training I went to was restorative yoga teacher training. It's always been my passion. It's always like what I have known deep down is what I need and what I want to teach. So as life has continued to unfold, letting go of the obsession with the physical appearance, being more accepting of the aging body and all that stuff, which is not to say like I don't care about what I look like. Like I still talk about plant-based weight loss and healthy eating and all of that fun stuff. Like that's part of my life too, like caring about eating a healthy diet that makes me feel alive and that I know is the healthiest diet on the planet and for the planet. And I've talked about this in another video, how I spent so many decades obsessed with what I looked like physically. And then when I got to a place where I was kind of accepting of what I looked like, that's when I really realized like, oh wow, there's some mental health stuff going on here too. In all my decades of dieting, I did a lot of studying on macros and calories in, calories out, cardio versus strength training, and just like anything you could think of that I thought was going to fix my physical body. During the years I was abusing alcohol, I definitely threw around the term depressed because I didn't have another word to describe the way I felt. And because of the alcohol, like I was experiencing depression because alcohol is a depressant. So I had this big cycle of self-blame because of the way I viewed my physical body, that I blamed that for every failure I had with friends, relationships, jobs, everything. And if it wasn't the fault of my body, then it was the fault of my drinking habit. I quit drinking alcohol August 4th of 2020. Definitely one of the best decisions I have ever made for myself. And it was 2 years after that I realized something is wrong with me, that I still feel so sad about myself and my life. I was 39 years old before I ever heard and understood the term neurodivergent. And then by the time I was 40, I was diagnosed. Like, so many years of feeling unsettled and like I was trying to solve something that I wasn't sure what it was. So I blamed my weight and all those things. And literally, as soon as I heard and understood what neurodivergence was, I'm like, this is me. This is it. This is the answer. And there are so many things in my life that just make sense now. My dependence on alcohol in social situations, because I can really struggle with social situations because of my neurodivergence. And I covered that up with alcohol and then created more problems in my life because of the alcohol. There's a whole lot of layers to this. I think the whole neurodivergence and mental health deserves its own whole conversation. So for most of my life, health and wellness was only about being skinny. It didn't even matter if it was healthy. I just wanted to be skinny. I just wanted to look good. Like, that's what it was throughout my 20s. When I became a yoga teacher, it definitely shifted to be more about health and wellness. I cared a lot more about my diet. I was vegetarian by that point for the ethical reasons as well as the health reasons. And I wanted to be physically strong for those fancy yoga poses that I used to be into. Now that I am in my 40s, I am approaching health and wellness from the perspective of taking care of my mental health first and foremost, and letting the physical health follow. Because I said this years ago, when I'm feeling good about myself mentally, you want to take care of yourself. You want to go out for a walk and you want to do a healthy meal prep and all that stuff. When you are not feeling good up here, how do you care? How do you care about making a healthy meal? How do you care about getting up off the couch and going outside? Like, speaking for my own struggles, So my wellness word for the year 2025 is lazy. It rolls off the tongue, lazy. So lazy has a negative connotation, and why is that? I was called fat and lazy at different periods throughout my life. So I want to reclaim the word lazy, just like, you know, we kind of reclaimed the word fat several years ago, which I don't know. I still feel weird about the word fat because it was the word that bullied me for so many years. But part of the body positivity movement was reclaiming that word fat and trying to get rid of this fat phobia that we have, which I am trying to as well. But as an elder millennial growing up in the 90s, I am just rewatching some 90210 episodes. Those girls are so skinny. It's no wonder I am so obsessed with my belly. For me, part of combating the inner fat phobia in my brain is the awareness that I have these comments and this dialogue going on, and accepting, that's an outdated thought. We love and accept our belly, whatever. And that's the other part of it, that I don't want to speak anything negatively about my body, no matter what size it is or if I am unhappy with it or not. Because one of the most triggering things to me when I was bigger was having skinny people call themselves fat. And it was the most, if you know, you know. So I refuse to be that woman who criticizes her body and calls herself fat. And what I want to focus on is the mental health side. And I know if I take care of my busy brain, my body feels way better. When I love and accept my body, I'm happy to move my body. I'm happy to go on my nature walks or get on my yoga mat or whatever I feel like doing. So my new routine for 2025, my lazy wellness routine, has no numbers, no goals. It's nothing like that. For me, it's checking in with myself and what I actually need that day based on my energy levels. Not based off checking the cardio box or the strength box and all those kind of things I used to do to try to keep myself on track. And how long did I ever stick with any of those programs? So my wellness plan for 2025 is to embrace the lazy side of life, to let go of the hustle culture and any pressure to be busy and to do more. Does anyone look ahead at the year and go, oh my gosh, I hope I'm so busy and stressed out this year? No, I want to be lazy and relaxed this year. I want to be chill. Part of accepting my neurodivergent diagnosis is recognizing that I need a slower life. I need to do less, not more. I need to let myself be lazy. And I can be lazy and be well. That's just me, Lazy Ebel, telling you to be well. Hey, that I really spent a lot of I like where that's going. Mind, body, spirit. Okay, that's what I want to say. So if you know me, you know I have been. So if you've seen some of my video, health and wellness journey, where I don't even know if any of this is making any sense. But then I spent the next two, I was all for it. Cut that out. What am I trying to say? I spent decades counting calories, obsessing how many calories were in food, how we should. What am I trying to say? By the time I became now in my 40s, my shift is kind of, now that I'm in my 40s, there we go. I was just filming on the couch and Penny was right here the whole time. Just a quiet little angel in her fort. Hi, princess. You're so sleepy. I hear your purr. You're so pretty. Thank you for being quiet. Oh my gosh, you're the best. Okay, I'll turn the big lights off now. Oh, you're so pretty.